Ladies and gentlemen, this is your very interesting host with the most here. It is Team Rara here. Listeners, how are you doing on this Saturday's edition? I am doing very fine. It is another gorgeous day outside. So that is a good thing, not a bad thing. And also, I'm very happy it is not raining at this time. Sorry I paused that moment. So, let me do my introduction, my lovely listeners. Then we'll get the show on the road. I will discuss for you wrestling news, wrestling topics, and a lot of interesting topics to discuss for you. So sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab something to eat, grab something to drink. Now, if you don't want to do nothing like that, maybe you just want to chill like a villain and hear my thoughts and opinions on this certain matter. And I will definitely put an article or a link down below. You guys could find out for yourself. You guys very smart listeners. So let's roll it. Now, does anyone out there miss Neville? I sure do, but not in a 205 Live division. This guy, in my opinion, is very unique. He has a lot of charisma, and WWE once again dropped the ball with the WWE superstar. And it's not the first time, and it will never be the last time. They only push certain wrestlers. And then when they push these mid-cutters, no one give a crap because it's little too late to push the guy. Now, speaking of Neville, we have not heard any news about him until recently, okay? Okay, it's hard to believe that it has been over 9 months since Neville decided that WWE was not for him. At least, word, he is back in London and his contract is froze, meaning that he cannot work for other wrestling promotions until he completes the time left with the WWE. Oh wow, I never knew about that, did you? Since Neville left, superstars like Alexander have stepped up to the plate, and produced has been more focused on in-ring action. Some things like Neville would probably have liked if he have stuck around. The reaction to Twitter post, Alexander said that his age of Alexander will continue. Wow, I never knew about Neville. Neville, his current contract is frozen. That's why he cannot perform at ROH, New Japan, or etc. So that is his loss. Do you think he'll come back to WWE and finish his contract? My guess is absolutely no. And that is a shame, you know? I think the reason, in my opinion, the reason he walked out, because this whole, what's his face? Nunzamore was the current cruiserweight champion, and because he beat Neville for that belt, you know. I prefer Neville not become the cruiserweight champion like the U.S. champion or the IC champion. Find a partner, go after the tag team belts on SmackDown Live, or even on freaking Raw. I cannot picture him as the main guy for SmackDown Live, or even on Raw. You know what I'm trying to say? It just don't feel right. But if RVD did it back in the day, Rey Mysterio did it back in the day, Dean Ambrose did it not that long ago, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. So if those guys could do it, Neville could do it, but he had to work his butt off. Even Shawn Michaels did it. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, the list goes on and on. So I don't know when his contract is going to expire. So That's kind of. So I'm assuming that's why WWE froze his contract, because they're punishing him to walking out, and I never knew they could do that. Did you guys know that? I'm assuming they could do it to other wrestlers. I don't know if they did it for Austin back in the day. Probably never thought of frozen his contract, you know. So, in my opinion, they should just rip up the contract with Neville and let him walk out. I mean, he did walk out, but let him sign with a different company. It's not really a big deal from my point of view, but it's a business decision, and of course, he was not happy with WWE. He was never happy, you know. So maybe in the future he'll come back, but highly unlikely, you know. Look at Cody Rhodes. When this whole Stardust gimmick started, it was fine and dandy, nice and fresh character. Then after time, it got very boring, and he wants to have his original character, his own Cody Rhodes. He used his own name, and then I heard from the grapevine, McMahon won't cut it. Just stick with the Stardust gimmick. And I guess Cody Rhodes didn't like that, so once his contract expires, I think, or he just walked out, I don't know, I think he just asked for his release, and bada bing, bada boom, he went to ROH. Now he's doing bigger things. Now I don't know if he's welcome back to WWE, not really too sure, but I think WWE really dropped the ball with him big time. I know he had a great match with himself and Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 27, I think. That was a great match, great build up to the match, but once again, Rey Mysterio, not scratch that. I think Rey Mysterio won a match. I don't remember. I gotta watch that. It was very good. I loved it. But once again, WWE dropped the ball with not Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, and that really kind of pissed me off. And that will not be the last WWE superstars. You know, it's gonna happen again. You know, like Nizamori, he screwed up, or I don't know this whole thing, but this sex thing or rape. You know, none of my business, but he's a entertainer, so all that personal stuff goes into the public eye, especially with Twitter, social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. That's all social media. So that is just sad. It's not like the good old days. You could keep secrets from the wrestling fans. Now it's blur everywhere on the internet. So like, subscribe, leave a comment about the article. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification, hit the like, and this wraps it up. This is your host here. Sign off. This is Team Rai. Later for now.